Okay, I got a call from Canada from a good friend of mine. His channel's name is Condog. He's got one video up right now, but check his channel out. This is going to be a conference call video. It's one of the first I've seen, and it should be pretty unique. We're going to talk about the different gun rules and regulations between Canada and the United States, and I think it should be interesting. Okay, Condog, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anything you want to ask me first about how it is over here?
Oh, well, I don't know, like, I know that every state is different, so, like, as a Canadian, I'm just, to me, I have no idea, like, in what state, what law is what.
Right. I'm not...
And also...
Go ahead.
I know that your laws are a lot more lenient than ours, and, we just talked briefly the other day, but not so in many cases, so I think this is going to be a really interesting video. If anything,
I think it is too.
To kind of give people an idea of like what the differences are.
And we got to let everyone know that we're both not gun rule experts by no means, especially me. I only really know some gun rules in some states. In Pennsylvania, I know a little bit about Arizona and New Jersey, and New York's a pain in the ass too. But we'll do the best we can.
Sounds good.
All right. How about I ask you something first?
Yeah, by all means, go ahead.
When you buy a firearm in Canada, what kind of qualifications do you need? Like, what's your background?
Okay. Well, first off, when you make the decision that you want to own a firearm, you want to shoot a firearm, you have to decide whether or not you want to first shoot restricted or non-restricted. Non-restricted means things like shotguns, hunting rifles, things like that. Restricted means basically handguns, AR-15s, things like that. So once you make the decision of which ones you want to get, you can get both. You don't have to pick one or the other, but you can get both. You first have to take the quiz.
Okay.
Basically, there's a thing online that you go to. It just kind of freshen up on your skills, and then you can either take a course or you can challenge the course.
Okay.
So if you actually take the course, you pay. It's like $100, and the instructor goes through everything. It's like a hands-on course. You sit down like a classroom.
Can you mix?
Yep.
Can you mix categories? Can you buy handguns and rifles?
Yes, you can.
You can.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But you have to, you have to basically pick which registration you want, non-restricted or restricted. I went for both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So once you basically take the written test, there's two. If you take both restricted and non-restricted, you have to score, I think it's 75%.
Jesus.
On your written test in order to pass it. If you don't, then you have to come back and do it again. If you do pass that written test, then you go on to the practical test, which essentially the instructor's right there. He'll say, okay, I want you to pick up this firearm. It'll be, a whole bunch of rifles, shotguns on the table. I want you to find the correct ammunition for it, and then I want you to cycle it and basically prove it safe. And in Canada, prove it safe, basically, they're acronyms for each one. So PROVE, point the rifle in the safe direction, remove all ammunition, observe the firing chamber, verify the feeding path, and examine the bore.
Damn, dude.
Basically, yeah.
Well, that's what Jesus. I mean, that's what they did in Full Metal Jacket. It's like you're a friggin' Marine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to know all that. Like, I know it by heart now because they basically drilled it into my head so many times. I think
it's good, but I don't think it's good that they make it the law. I think everyone should go to gun classes and know their firearm. I think they should give a minute gun class to everybody that buys a firearm, just the basics, because there are guys out there that they're, like I said, like they're like their brain is like a box of hammers, right? And they're buying guns and they're leaving them around loaded, thinking nothing's going to happen. So I think the United States in that area lags a little. I'm not saying I want more gun control by no means, but I don't think it's a bad idea to have someone take some kind of class, at least a 30-minute class, to give you some basic fundamentals of a firearm, just to keep it safe. That's just common sense.
Well, I'll give you a story. When I was in there, I was actually there with my buddy, and there was another guy there taking his test, and he was by no means competent at all with the firearm.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was struggling throughout the whole vid. He managed to get through it, but, the instructor still let him through on it.
Well,
we were both looking at each other, shaking our heads, thinking, I can't believe this guy actually passed.
Well, owning a firearm is probably one of the biggest responsibilities you can own, more than a car.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
I mean, I don't know. I might have overshot that one. Owning a car is a huge responsibility, too, because that's a big weapon. It could be, anyway. But a firearm, it's just, you really should be a mature person and be really safety conscious. I mean, I'm not Joe Safety. I try to be, but I'm not an idiot either.
Yeah. No, I try to be as safe as I can as well. I mean, on top of that, once you actually pass that course, then the instructor submits, your application, basically saying that he deems you being, someone who is competent with the firearms.
Okay.
And then it goes into the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and they're basically,
It's a good idea. I think it's a little. I don't think Americans would go for that full thing, though. It's a little too complex.
Oh, yeah,
but I think there should be something along the baselines of that. Wouldn't hurt us. But
so then once the RCMP gets a hold of it, then they run a full criminal background check on you. Absolutely.
Well, don't you think they should do that first, then do all that trouble?
You would think, but I guess they don't want to waste their time.
Well, that's what I mean. If the guy is a felon, and they're gonna save them time from all that teaching classes, you know what I mean?
Yep.
What about all right? Say you're accepted in Canada, you pass the test. Now, how long you gotta wait? Say you have the money to buy the gun, you buy it. When can you get the gun?
Okay, so sorry, say that again.
Say you're done all the classes and you pass the tests, and say, okay, I have the money, I want to buy a 1911. When can you actually take the gun home?
Okay, so once that happens, what that restricted license allows you to do is basically own it. That's it. You can't move it. You can't shoot it. You can only have it in your house. And you're thinking, well, how the hell would you get it to your house if that's the case? Well, to be honest, it'd be illegal. Unless someone delivered it right to your house, you can't own them. Unless somehow someone delivers it to your house, you can't do it. So in order to be able to shoot it and own it, you have to, first register with your gun club, and you have to pay for a pistol membership. After that, a lot of them make you take a competency course again on everything you just learned basic to basically use handguns properly.
Okay.
You have to now take a written test, which takes about 45 minutes, maybe half an hour if you really know your stuff. It's pretty laid back, though. And then basically it's scored, and then that instructor deems you as being competent based on that.
Okay.
Then you have to go out to the range with that instructor on 2 separate days and fire a wide variety of pistols. It's, you pay $40 and you pay for all the pistols.
Wow.
And you have to shoot, in my case, at my range, I had to shoot a 1-inch patch at 10 yards 3 out of 5 times for each of those firearms.
Some gun ranges are like that.
Yeah.
If you want to shoot at the indoor range, you have to shoot this little square so far away, and if you don't get all 20 rounds in the square, you cannot use the indoor range. But they don't do that. That don't stop you from owning a gun, though. I think that's kind of crazy. Because we're not all marksmen here. I think, okay. No offense to your country, but it's not right. It's too much. No. It's just too much. I mean, that's where I say, what a great country this is. But on the other side, there's a lot of irresponsible idiots that got guns that ain't felons. You know what I mean? And let me say this too: people that are felons, not all of them are bad people. Sometimes that happens by accident, man. So that shit happens. I just wanted to say that too. How about what kind of? Can you use hollow points in Canada? Are they illegal?
No, you can use hollow points.
Okay. Once you're through all the bullshit, you told me you can use the ammunition you want.
No, like it's from what I understand of it, it's essentially what they want to do is make sure that you're shooting the correct ammunition at a range. It's not really so much concerned about people going on killing sprees. I mean, they are, but
well,
it's not.
All that stuff you're telling me ain't going to stop that. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't hear you. Sorry. Go ahead, Pete.
All that stuff you're telling me, what Canada put you through, that's not going to stop killing sprees.
No, it won't.
That's what I don't understand. But I understand it improves accidents.
Yeah.
It improves on accidents. Okay.
Yep.
Can you buy sound suppressors in Canada?
Absolutely not.
That blows.
If you're caught, if you're caught trying to make one or buy one or in any way that you have one in your possession, you're pretty much right fucked.
Nice.
You put it quite simply. I mean,
okay, so
not only are you going to jail
they're out of the question. Now, in America, you can have them. I think it's a $200 fee, and you got to go through some red tape to get it, but you can have them. Let me see. When you can't carry in Canada, right?
No, there are some people, mostly people in government, stuff like that they do have carry permits, but
your civilian can't.
Essentially, no.
So I'm not going to ask you if you carry concealed or unconcealed. That just wipes that right out. There's no carrying.
I can't do any of it.
What about targets? Can you have human-shaped targets?
You can have silhouettes of human-shaped targets. You can't have the full picture of a target.
Okay, I know what you're saying. That thing that looks like a goddamn ghost.
Well,
right.
Yeah, like I went to Las Vegas this year and basically shot a bunch of, some machine guns and stuff because I could. It was the first time I ever did. Because we don't get a chance to up here.
Okay.
And they were all, pictured targets.
There's some states in America where you cannot use human-shaped targets, but it's real independent rules. Like my gun range, I will say their name because I think it's a disgrace. It's Field Extremes, it's called, and they said you're not allowed to shoot human-shaped, not even silhouette human. But that's the gun range rules, and I think
it might be just a policy there.
They're making, but that hurts the gun community because they're making the anti-gunners look like they're right. Because they think all gun people are intentional troublemakers, intentional to do harm, and that's not what it is, and that's what that makes it look like. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I do.
All right. So, all right. What about how's your gun range rules? Are they ridiculous? Like, can you put a full magazine in?
Well, it depends who you ask, but in terms of the magazine cap, no matter what handgun it is, you're limited to 10.
Okay.
You can't have more than 10 in the magazine or the chamber. Well, magazine and chamber.
So this will tell you how bad my gun range is. Even Canada's gun range is more loose and more fun to shoot at than mine. And I live in America, in Pennsylvania, which is a gun pro state here. It's all hunters and stuff. This is where America was born, in Philadelphia. So, I mean, the Second Amendment means, it's strong here. I'm not going to say it means more to us than anyone else, but it's real strong here.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep, gotcha.
And, we got the Valley Forge, all that stuff. What about evil rifles? Do they consider an AK-47 an evil rifle?
Yes, they do. You can't own basically any battle rifle. So anything that is, basically for military use.
So forget the M1 Garand, forget the AR-15, forget the AK-47.
No, not necessarily. At a certain point. So, like, M1 Garand is, considered a hunting rifle here.
Really?
30-06. Well, yeah, it's big enough. So it's 30-06. You can only hold 8 rounds.
It's semi-automatic.
It's semi-automatic, but with semi-automatics you can hold 10.
All right, because I see my fat friend Frank.
Well, sorry, that's not right.
Okay.
It's actually 5. You can hold 5 in a semi-auto rifle.
Okay, because the M1 Garand carries 8.
Yeah, so you can have an 8-round, clip, but you can only put 5 in at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
you can have M14.
And did you hear what he said, guys? He said clip, but that's correct this time because it is a clip. It's an M1 Garand.
Yep. Great.
Yeah, because I just see, like I was just saying, my chubby friend Frank, I seen him, do a full, he unloaded an M1 Garand. Man, that thing looked like a machine gun. It was awesome.
Right.
Can you do that at your gun range? Rapid fire.
Sorry.
Rapid fire.
You can rapid fire depending on the range, but you can't have fully automatics at all.
Okay. Well, that's not too bad. So your gun range rules ain't that bad. It's just getting a gun in general is a horrible experience, right? But I guess once you get it, it's a good feeling after going through that, huh? You feel like you got something special there. I never want to go through
so many hoops you got to jump through.
Well, and there's a lot of people that are good with their hands, like me, but can't take tests. So I would be screwed, or I would have to study my ball like I was studying for the bar to pass that test.
Yeah, true. So just going back to the bow rifle thing, so like the FN FAL is out, things like the G3 would be out, but the thing is you can have AR-15 as long as they're limited to 5 rounds. So if they're capped out at 5 rounds, you can have AR-15s that are chambered for 2.23 or 5.56.
So you can have the evil rifles, but with low magazine capacity.
Well, up here, the AR-15 isn't considered evil.
Okay, but the AK is.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And I don't know why that is. I like AKs myself. Like the looks of them. I like the fact they're really reliable. Like you in a lot of regards as how much you like them. But the thing is here, as far as the police is concerned, that the AK is would be used for crime and nothing but crime. So that's why that's out. I guess they figure because the AR-15 is more difficult to get. It's more or less a precision rifle. It actually has a use at ranges that
I hear you.
They let through. So I guess that's why if you're on the other side.
Well, yeah, but they don't realize as the AKs today, like Arsenal, are good up to like 200 yards now. They're very precise. But I understand what they're saying. But it ain't right because, like I said, I can blow someone's head off with a 1911 just as same as I could with an AK. So I just don't understand the difference.
Yeah,
don't understand it. Same with the 30-06 hunting rifle.
Hmm?
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know it's for hunting, precision.
Yep.
But when it comes down to it, I think it's just downright power, and it just doesn't make sense. But they'll just make any excuse, not to get the A. But New Jersey, America's good with AKs, with the exception of New Jersey. And I think, I'm not positive, so I'm sure someone will correct me. I don't think New York you can have them either. And it's ridiculous. A gun is a gun is a gun, right?
Yep.
Once the
caliber thing, right?
All right.
The reason why we're allowed to have large calibers, excuse me, and some people even have 50 cals up here, 50 cal BMG rifle.
Oh, I know. My friend has a 50 cal BMG.
They're grandfathered now. Like they just kind of vetoed that whole thing. So if you own one, we have a grandfathered rule, which means that if you owned a rifle that's just been classed as prohibited, meaning that you can't own it at all.
Okay.
If you've had it previously before that law came into effect, you can own it until you die. So you can't pass it on, so it must go in for destruction after you die. But you can own those, but also you can own like 338s, like 30-30s, really large caliber rifles. And they're for hunting moose and bears.
Yeah, well, as long as you can put a title of hunting on it, you can probably own it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, but I don't want to make this video too long. We're at 19 minutes. I don't want to go past 20 minutes because the people get upset. I'm not going to comment on that. But, yeah, it was great, man. It was a lot of good information. The only thing I could say is in Pennsylvania, you can use your firearm for home defense, right? No?
Well, I mean, physically you can, but if you ever do use it, you're more fucked than he is.
Okay, that's crazy. Now, Pennsylvania...
Doesn't matter if he's off your property, on your property, it doesn't matter. If you make that choice to use that firearm, you basically have to tell yourself, that it's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what would happen. And you would probably go to jail for it, I'm assuming.
That's
because
terrible.
People have before.
Your gun's useless. Your gun's useless in your house.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Unless it depends on what's more important to you.
Yep.
Now in Pennsylvania, you can defend you used to, like you couldn't, if someone was on your property, you couldn't defend yourself on your property. It had to be inside the house. Now
right.
I think Teron Reef, he's a friend of mine, he sent me a note saying that they passed a law in Pennsylvania that now you can defend yourself on your outside property. I don't know if it's how true that is. I'm not saying he don't know what he's talking about, but I got to look into that. I hope he's right. But he did send it to me, and it was from a legitimate source. But in Texas, from what I know, if you know the Joe Horn story, you can protect yourself in your house, outside your house, and you can protect your neighbor's property. How you like that?
Yeah.
So that's the way it should be. All right. But dude, thanks for calling. This is really cool.
No worries.
It's something very different. It was your idea, and I appreciate it, man.
Cool. Yeah.
I think a lot of
my
people.
Pleasure too. Great talking with you.
Very interesting video. I think people will like it.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
22 caliber rimfires, no cap on ammunition. Well, it's not in a pistol. So if you have a Ruger 1022, you can rock and roll with a 50 drum mag if you want, and just go to town if you wanted to.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Wow, that's amazing. There's one more thing. I know in Canada you can only have if you have a revolver, the barrel can't be shorter than what, 4 inches?
That's right. Yes. You can't have any compacts.
Okay.
Essentially. Yeah.
Okay, so if I have a 2-inch gun and a 4-inch gun, I won't be able to compact my 4-inch gun. In other words, when you say compact, I'm thinking of conceal. I'm sorry, but that's what they're worried about, right? That's
pretty much, yes.
Okay.
The concealability of that compact. See, in most states where they let you basically carry them, they're not concerned with it because most you're allowed to carry them. So that's why I think.
Tell them there's a thing called inside the waistband holster. You can conceal anything.
Yeah.
But, all right, bud. Thanks a lot. I'm going to cut this video off now. Just hold on a minute.
Yep.
All right, guys. Hope you liked this.